Ever wondered about the stories behind some of our most iconic toys? How they came to be and the revolutions they sparked in the world of advertising? Buckle up, because today we're diving deep into a tale that's rooted in simple fun, but has layers like a spud. But before we get into it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you want to get notified every time I upload a new video, click the bell icon as well. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it a lot. All right, let's get started. In the late 1940s, a man named George Lerner from Brooklyn had a fun idea. He thought, why not make a toy where kids can attach eyes, noses, and other pieces to vegetables like potatoes? He wanted kids to make their own funny faces on the veggies. But here's the twist. At first, people didn't like his idea. You see, just a few years before, during World War II, there wasn't enough food for everyone. So, turning food into a toy seemed like a bad idea to many. A couple of years passed, and George didn't give up. In 1951, he talked to two brothers, Henry and Merrill Hassenfeld. They ran a small toy business in Rhode Island. Maybe you've heard of it? It's called Hasbro. They loved George's toy idea. They gave George a deal. In today's money, it would be like they paid him around $82,000, plus a bit extra for every toy they sold. And guess what? That's how Mer Potato Head was born. But here's a fun fact. When it first came out, the toy didn't come with its own plastic potato. Kids had to use a real one from the kitchen. And on April 30, 1952, something big happened. Mr. Potato Head became the first toy to have its very own TV advertisement. Imagine that, a toy vegetable face on TV. It sounds funny, but it was a big deal back then. Thanks to George's never-give-up spirit and Hasbro's trust in a unique idea, kids everywhere got a chance to play with a truly special toy. And even today, many of us know and love Mr. Potato Head. Just goes to show, sometimes the craziest ideas turn out to be the best ones. So, let's take a trip down memory lane to the 1950s. Back then, not many houses had TVs. Only about 1 in 10 houses had one at the start of the decade. But by the end, wow. Almost 9 out of 10 homes had one. It's kind of like how everyone seems to have smartphones today. Now, with more TVs, there were more shows for kids. I'm sure you've heard of some like Romper Room or the Mickey Mouse Club. With these shows came a brand new idea. Why not show ads for toys during these programs? Sounds obvious now, but back then, it was a big, bold move. Paul Kernett, a big shot in the advertising world from New York, once spoke about this. In 2012, he told the BBC that showing ads to kids on TV was like trying something for the very first time. Nobody had thought of it before. But, as they say, fortune favors the bold. And it sure did for Hasbro. Remember the Mr. Potato Head toy we talked about? Well, when they advertised it on TV, they sold over 1 million in just 1 year. It's wild to think that ads targeted at kids were once a groundbreaking idea. But it worked, and oh boy, did kids want the toys they saw on TV? Parents knew all about it. Their kids would watch an ad and then, like clockwork, ask for that toy. People called this the nag factor because, well, kids kept nagging their parents. Hasbro was onto something big, and their idea to put Mr. Potato Head on TV set off a chain reaction. It changed the way companies thought about selling toys, and to be honest, it probably changed our childhoods too. The toys we played with, the ones we wanted, and the ones we remember. So much of that started with a simple idea. Let's show toys on TV. All right, let's dive into another fun story. Once upon a time, when TVs were becoming popular, there was an ad that went, "Meet Mr. Potato Head, the best buddy a kid could have." Sounds exciting, right? This wasn't just any ad. It marked the beginning of a new chapter in advertising. It was directly talking to the little munchkins watching their favorite shows. Parents soon figured out what was happening. Every time an ad popped up, their kiddos would come running saying, "I want that." It was as if there was a special magic spell called the nag factor. Kids wouldn't stop talking about the toys they saw on their screens. I bet parents secretly wished they could mute that nagging button. With the boom in toy ads, some folks started raising eyebrows. By the 1970s, groups like Action for Children's Television felt it was high time for some rules. The Better Business Bureau's team for kids ads was like, we need to make sure these toy ads are fair. The big guys at the Federal Communications Commission agreed. They wanted to make sure ads were honest about what the toys could do. Because let's face it, nobody likes a toy that promises the moon but doesn't even light up. But back to our star, Mr. Potato Head. He wasn't alone for long. Soon, Mrs. Potato Head joined the party. They even got pets, fancy cars, and cool kitchens. These weren't just ordinary toys anymore. By the time the 1990s rolled in, they hit the big screen. If you've ever watched the Toy Story movies, you know what I'm talking about. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head became legends, showing up in kids' rooms all over the world. From a simple potato to movie stardom, it's quite the journey, huh? And to think, it all started with a toy and a TV ad. Amazing. And that's a wrap on our nostalgic journey through the world of toys and advertising. From humble beginnings to big screens, it's truly fascinating how these tales weave together, shaping our memories and childhoods. So the next time you spot a toy or catch an ad on TV, remember, there's always an epic story behind it waiting to be told. If you like what I do in here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you have some anime that you'd like me to cover, write it down in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.